inclusion as well as a divisor, right, in some ways for a country like India. And how can we build a more gender inclusive environment leveraging technology? So that's the larger question from what I gathered that you spoke about. So I'll maybe, just a little bit, because I represent NASSCOM and represent a large number of technology companies in India. I'll spend a minute talking about that industry, and then focus on the technology inclusion side of the question that you spoke about. So clearly, if you look at, and like Hari said, you have to think of it as a sector. So if I see the technology sector in India, there's at least far greater awareness about building a diverse workforce, right? And it has existed for the last decade or so. So it's not, I'm sure Avneet agrees with me. It's something that has existed and is imbibed from maybe some of the practices of the global multinationals that set up in India. But today, every company has a more structured diversity practice where they have policies, programs, coaching, mentorship, etc., available to help women not only enter the workforce but stay there. Yes, there is still a very strong leaking pipeline that Hari spoke about, where we are losing women at the middle and senior management level, and that continues to be a problem that we need to fix. I think the other issue we are increasingly seeing is that as digital technologies are becoming much more mainstream, women in AI or women in blockchain, there is a divide that is even coming in some of these newer technology areas. So there's clearly gaps that are slightly, there is a leadership gap that is existing, and there is a technology gap that exists in the industry. So obviously, we're working very closely with our members on starting out specific cohorts of women technologists who can be upskilled, mentored in these new technology areas. It's still very small cohorts, but we'd like to see how we can really expand that. As an industry, we employ almost 1.5 million women, right? So that's not a small number. If we could retain and grow them, then maybe 5-7 years from now, we would have many more women to join Hari's company in the middle and senior management as we looked at it. So clearly, I think the focus of staying the course, right, and hybrid work provides some of that opportunity if leveraged well. So today, for all the social reasons that Hari spoke about, if we can create that environment where women can provide flexibility in their workplace during those years when they have to either take care of their children or higher studies, it can create an environment where you can retain, these women who were leaving for family and social reasons. But I think the jury's out on that. We yet have to see how hybrid really plays out, whether it will be effective or whether that will create its own divide, right? So I think that is, again, not an answer there. Having learned from how we worked in the pandemic, there is lessons to be learned there. So if I was to summarize that part of it, I think as an industry, our starting metrics are good, but there needs to be completely affirmative action to bring more women at senior middle levels, so that we can change the fabric of this industry more entirely. At NASSCOM, we're very happy. We have a lot of women. Our president is a woman, our chairperson is a woman, and Upasana, to your point, we used to call chairman NASSCOM, so we had to change it and say chairperson NASSCOM. So there is that fabric that is changing, and I think we can see the change that's bringing to us as an organization. I think the second part of what you said is equally more important, right? Technology, given how digital is becoming, like how you buy, how you shop, what you do, it's become so critical. So even building out basic digital literacy for women, right? Helping them understand, if I need to shop on Big Basket, how do I do it? So that's, again, initiatives that a lot of our companies are partnering with NGOs, including the NASSCOM Foundation, to help women become more digitally literate. Again, lots to be done, but there is effort around that. I think the second important point to the micro entrepreneurs that Hari spoke about, many of them can leverage these channels of, online commerce to be able to sell their products and solutions to a much wider market than they're able to do today. So again, that requires digital enablement, requires a proper sustained plan. I know larger companies are doing it too. They are bringing more and more sellers onto their platform. The government is creating something, but I think it has to be much more inclusive. We have tons and tons of great micro entrepreneurs in India, whether it's rural artisans or women who are creating handicrafts, etc., and many more, right? And I'm just taking, like, saw this lovely example of mushroom farming by a woman entrepreneur in a remote part of the country. And with the pandemic, her business was coming to a stop. How can technology and e-commerce enablement actually help her to reach the markets she could not, because the whole other world, the physical world, was almost at a halt. So there is a lot of work to be done. Initial baby steps are being taken, but technology can be a great enabler, and I hope it doesn't become create a bigger divide than it has.